Welcome to the Planning Commission meeting of August 28th, 2025. My name is Vern Crow, and I am the chairperson of the commission. The Planning Commission is a citizen body appointed by the City Council. The commission is empowered to make final decisions on certain matters, with those matters being appealable to the City Council. On other matters, the commission acts in an advisory role to the council, with the council making the final decision. You will have an opportunity to address the commission during the public hearing portion of the meeting. Your testimony is appreciated and encouraged. The commission acts from a written agenda. You will need to fill out a yellow speaker card and give it to city staff if you wish to speak on an item. Copies of the agenda and the speaker cards are located on the table just outside the main door. At this time, please be sure to silence your cell phones. Thank you. There are 7 members appointed to the Planning Commission. And at this time, I will ask the commissioners to introduce themselves and state the district they are representing, starting from my far right, Commissioner Crow.
John Crow, Mayoral District.
Commissioner Cole.
Tom Cole, Barrel District.
Vice Chair Nyberg.
Edwin Nyberg from the Cholla District.
Commissioner Gears.
John Gears, Ocotillo District.
Commissioner Hooper.
Brian Hooper with the Saguaro District.
Commissioner Ariano.
Sergio Arellano, Yucca District.
And Vern Crow, Cactus. Let the record show that all members of the Planning Commission are present. The Planning Commission receives staff assistance and guidance from the Planning Division, along with the City Attorney's Office. Now on to the approval of the minutes. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes of August 14th, 2025, Planning Commission workshop and regular meeting?
So move.
Do I have a second?
Support.
I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of August 14th, 2025, Planning Commission workshop and regular meeting as written. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Huggins, are there any withdrawals or continuances this evening?
Chairman Crow, there is a continuance request. ZTA 25-01 is a zoning text amendment that includes billboards and accessory dwelling units. The accessory dwelling unit section is requested to be continued to the date specific October 23rd, 2025.
Okay, sir. Are there any folks here that have come to speak on that issue? Okay, hearing none, let's move on. The purpose of the public hearing is to provide interested parties an opportunity to present testimony for the commissioner's consideration. We will follow the same procedures for each item, and that will be...
I'm sorry, we need a motion on that last issue.
A motion to continue, I guess, would be the request.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Well, then I'll entertain a motion to continue that item.
Chair, I motion we continue the ZTA 25-01,
Just the ADU section.
the ADAU section.
Yes.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to postpone the item for the ADU section of item number 1.
Correct.
Okay.
Oh,
Do I hear a second?
It's for ZTA 25-01. Yeah.
Yes.
Which is item number 2.
All right. Gentlemen, do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now, the purpose of the public hearing is to provide interested parties an opportunity to present testimony for the commissioner's consideration. We will follow the same procedures for each item, and those procedures are: I will call the application number and the name of the applicant. Staff will present the reports and answer questions for the commission. The applicant will be given the opportunity to make a presentation and answer questions from the commission. Other persons who wish to testify will be asked to do so and answer questions from the commission. The applicant will have an opportunity for closing comments. Staff will be asked for any final comments on the application and procedural guidance if needed. I will then close the public hearing and ask for a motion prior to further discussion from the commissioners. If you wish to speak on an item, you will need to state your name and address for the record. Be brief and to the point and avoid repetition. I reserve the right to limit the length of your testimony, which is 3 minutes. All exhibits shown to the commission become a part of the permanent record and must be submitted for the file. Large groups should designate a spokesperson. Applause and other disruptions which delay the hearing will not be tolerated. We only have 2 public hearing items this evening. The first one is case number ZON 23-04, and Mr. Martinez will present.
Good evening, Chairman Crow and Commissioners. The applicant is proposing a rezoning from C1 Neighborhood Commercial District to PAD Planned Area Development for approximately 6 acres. The subject property is located approximately 15 miles northwest of the City Hall and is located at the northeast corner of North Citrus Road and West Olive Avenue. The surrounding area is predominantly within unincorporated Maricopa County, with the exception of the Zanjero Pass subdivision and the subject property, which are both in the Glendale city limits. The property directly across North Citrus Road is zoned County C2 Intermediate Commercial Zoning District. With this county-zoned commercial property, in addition to the subject property, this configuration creates a commercial node at the intersection of 2 arterial roads. Before you is a slide depicting the subject property and a cyan highlight. In addition, one will find the previously mentioned Zanjero Pass subdivision that is east adjacent of the subject property, along with the previously mentioned county-zoned commercial parcel and other residential communities within the vicinity. The applicant conducted citizen participation and public notification procedures in accordance with the city's Unified Development Code. Per the final citizen participation report, which is attached to the staff report, the applicant responded towards the general public's inquiries. The proposed PAD is consistent with the existing general plan designation General Commercial, and said PAD furthers the goals and objectives with the general plan. Furthermore, the PAD proposes development standards that are compatible with the surrounding area. This PAD is intended to improve the economic viability of the subject parcel and to enhance the surrounding area, including the nearby residential communities. Staff recommends approval of ZON 23-04, subject to the following stipulation. Development shall be in accordance with the Olive Grove's PAD narrative, date stamped by the Development Services Department, Planning Division, June 12, 2025. This concludes my presentation, and I believe I'd be happy to address any questions that you may have. Yeah.
Commissioners, anything for Mr. Martinez? Commissioner Gears?
Mr. Martinez, thank you. On your report, Planning Commission report, you said this property was zoned C1 back in 2015.
Yes, sir.
And the county around it is C2. What's the difference between Glendale City C1 and County C2?
I have not run that analysis. That's a good question. The city's C1 zoning, in a light paraphrased way, is a sort of light and less intense commercial zoning district, but I've not run an analysis to compare County C2.
Well, the reason I said that is in the project details, the applicant based all their development on the County C2 zoning. So I just was wondering what the difference is. And will they cover it in the presentation?
Yes, the applicant has a presentation if it pleases the board, or if you want to address that question.
Okay, I'll wait till after.
Hey, wait. Hang on.
I'll wait till he gives his presentation.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Commissioners, anything for Mr. Martinez? Thank you, sir. Okay, would the applicant or applicant's representative please come forward, state your name for the record, and make your presentation?
Gentlemen, good evening. For the record, Andy Jokums. I'm a planning consultant with the law firm of Gilbert Bliley, here tonight representing Olive Groves and the Gibran family. I'm going to do a little bit of a presentation, and hopefully I'll catch the conversation about the C1 versus C2 in a second. Okay, Phil, make sure I get this right. All right. I know Phil showed a zoning map. I'm going to go ahead and show one too. This is kind of a composite zoning map that shows both the county zoning and the city zoning. So again, you can see the city property and the subject parcel there located, C1 with the red outline, and you can see the city boundary there in the yellow outline. But as Phil pointed out, directly across the street is C2 in Maricopa County. C2 is a more intensive zoning district. C2 in the county is generally akin to C2 in the city. So if you think about neighborhood retail or neighborhood commercial versus more of an intermediate commercial, a little more broad scope of uses. Some of the uses we're adding to the property would be vet clinics, restaurants, bars, things like that could go in a C2 zone property. Self-storage is another one I'm going to talk about in a second. When we were looking at this particular property, we focused on that parcel just to the west in the county. In order to make this property more marketable so we can bring the highest and best uses to the city of Glendale, we were concerned that the piece across the street could bring in more of a broad scope of uses. That's really why we started the PAD process with the city. When we talked about PAD, we were specifically looking at certain uses we thought would be best fitting on the property, those that would currently require a conditional use permit in either the current C1 zoning or the proposed C2 in the county. I'm sorry, would not require a CUP in the C2 in the county. Things like drive-throughs, minor auto service, and self-storage. Those are things we're thinking could be good uses on the property. Those could go as a matter of right on that C2 property in the county without any additional hearings. So again, here's the subject property. You can kind of see the context of the developing commercial or the developing residential with the vacant commercial across the street. So as we were envisioning this PAD, as we were using that C2 as the baseline for the county, we looked at some uses that might be good on the property, but would require an additional conditional use permit. We didn't want to have those market uses have to go through that additional process with Glendale if they could go right across the street to the county and not go through a similar CUP type process. So when we were exploring the PAD, we looked at some of those uses and said, how can we create set standards for these uses that would have normally been addressed if somebody was presenting a CUP before you all? So again, up on the screen is drive-throughs. Drive-throughs would require a CUP on the property today. What we're proposing in the Olive Groves PAD is that CUP process goes away. It becomes a matter of right, but we've added additional performance standards for those uses that would better protect the neighbors and their interest. So on the screen, we've kind of captured a few of those. We're limiting them to 3 drive-through uses on the property for restaurants or coffee shops, so the property's not overburdened. One of the biggest uses with it, or biggest concerns with a drive-through, is noise. We've built in a standard such that a sound study is required for this applicant, so they have to prove to the city through the design review process that there will not be any noise above ambient conditions or 55 decibels at that residential property line. That's something that's not in your code today. It's something you might consider if you were looking at a conditional use permit for a drive-through restaurant, but it's not in your code today. We're proposing that be in the PAD for all drive-through uses. You've also got some pretty good queuing standards. We didn't add those. Drive-through service windows are another thing. We've got them so they have to be oriented away. And we've added additional development standards for the design of that drive-through, potentially drive-through restaurant and canopy. Auto service is another use we were looking at would be good on the property. Now, when I talk about auto service, we're talking about minor auto service. Think of Jiffy Lube, Brakes Plus, Discount Tire. Major auto service, which includes engine, drivetrain repair, is actually a C2 use. However, we're proposing it to be removed from the PAD. It would not be permitted on the property. So if a minor auto service use were to come to this property, if this PAD were to be approved, again, we're limiting it to 2 of those uses on the property. And again, we're requiring that applicant to present a sound study to show to your planning staff that there will not be excessive noise on their adjacent residential parcels. One of the other uses we're looking at, things we might be good on the property, is self-storage. Self-storage gets a bad rap, but it's a very quiet, low traffic generating use. What we've proposed in the PAD is indoor storage only. If the use had outdoor storage, outdoor RV storage, that would still require a conditional use permit to come back before the body, back before staff, back before this commission to be evaluated on a case-by-case basis. What we're proposing is indoor storage only be a permitted use on the property. In doing so, we built some specific standards in there again to offer protections to those neighbors. Limited hours of operation, and another thing we've added up on the screen, you can see a couple of those examples. We've added some design standards such that the storage would have to look more like an office building and less like some of those less attractive storage buildings we've seen. This is our conceptual site plan. It is absolutely conceptual. We do not have any specific users on mind yet. We're getting ready to market the property, but this shows how the site could get developed. It's got a couple of drive-through restaurants on there. It's got some retail, and it's got a self-storage building. As Phil outlined, we did a exhaustive community outreach process through your code. We sent about 2,000 letters out through the procedures. We had a good outreach meeting. In fact, we only had 5 members show up in our virtual outreach meeting. So we sent out 2,000 letters and had 5 residents show up to talk to us. They seemed generally supportive of the idea of commercial in this area. Obviously, it's already zoned commercial, but they seemed supportive of that. There was some concern over the storage and outdoor storage. There was also a concern about some of those industrial buildings further east on Olive extending into the neighborhood, which we were able to talk through. Tonight, we are before you with a application that is in conformance with the general plan land use designation of general commercial. Staff has indicated it complies with all the findings for a PAD, and you have a recommendation for approval from your staff. Happy to answer any questions that the commission may have.
Commissioners, anything for Mr. Jokums? Commissioner Cole?
Mr. Jokums, thank you for your presentation. It looks like car washes are permitted. Is that correct by your chart?
A car wash, let me double check.
Looks like page 9 if I'm
It
reading
may
right.
still require a conditional use permit. I've got my crib notes here.
Listed here as a P for permitted in what I've seen, what was presented.
It would be a permitted use on the property. That follows your C2 standards.
Does that count as a drive-through?
I'm gonna defer to your zoning staff behind me, but my answer is no. The drive-through would be specifically for a drive-through restaurant, drive-through for coffee shop, dry cleaner, pharmacy.
So theoretically, there could be a car wash and 3 drive-through restaurant.
I wasn't anticipating that as I wrote that standard, but yes.
Thank you.
Commissioner Gears?
Is there a pointer on this thing? The sparkle button. So yes, the large building on the north would be what we, at least again, it's conceptual in nature. It could be anywhere on the property, but as we've drawn it up, the large building on the north would be a location for that self-storage. So as we've, Mr. Chairman, Commissioner, if I can go, yes, so the standard setback in C2 is, from residential, is 60 feet. What we've added in the code was an acknowledgement of, and I'm going to skip back if you don't mind, that there's already a minimum of a 30-foot buffer. So if I look right here at this point, or right here at this point, there's an additional 30-foot tract that's in the HOA. So what we've accounted for in the PAD is it's a 60-foot buffer, but you get a little, you get credit for an off-site open space tract.
Okay, I thought it was from the property line. But that's
Yeah,
not-
again, that's how it's standard in your code. It doesn't anticipate a situation like this. So as we wrote this PAD, we've added a footnote that allows that credit to be taken.
Okay, and you say you have addressed the issues of the few neighbors that were complaining about the height of the proposed storage unit?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner, addressed might not be the best word. I'd have to let them, if somebody's here to speak on the behalf of that. There was a concern about height. In the provisions for the project, we limit self-storage to 3 stories. In reality, your building height that's in the PAD is 30 feet at that property line. So at that minimum setback, the highest building you can build is 30 feet. You're not going to have a 3-story storage building in 30 feet.
Okay.
As you get further away from the residential, somebody could, and there isn't a whole lot of room on the property, somebody could theoretically, per your C2, build higher.
Thank you.
That was kind of the conversation we had with the neighbors was, it says 3 stories, but in reality, if somebody were to maximize the property, it's a 2-story building.
Appreciate it.
Commissioners? Thank you, Mr. Jogums.
Thank you.
Okay, I don't have any speaker cards for this particular case, but are there any members of the audience that would like to speak? Gilbert? Gilbert? Yeah. No, I need to know. I'll have them. Okay, Madam, would you come up to the podium and state your name and address, please?
My name is Trina Phelps Wilson. My address is 8911 North 179th Drive.
Thank you,
I
ma'am.
live in the community at Olive and Citrus, right across the street.
Okay.
And I was also present on the phone, the conference call. One thing that was not addressed is the traffic, the amount of traffic. I understand the limited use auto, but there's a lot of traffic for a Jiffy U. I'm sorry, I got a brace in. A Jiffy tire change. I heard nothing about a traffic study. Citrus itself is a narrow street. We already get the big trucks coming by the back of our house. You know, you sit on the furniture is moving. I haven't seen or heard anything about a study, how you're gonna address the traffic for the businesses. However, limited use, you saying as far as minimum auto repair, you know, there is an increased traffic. Have to get those trucks in to use storage spaces. I've never seen the storage unit beautified. a residential area. When we relocated here, we relocated over there under the premise that this was all zoned residential. And we bought the property over there based on that. And then all of a sudden I started seeing how they set up that development and squared off their property, and that way I knew a zone change was coming. So I have some general concerns, and they're serious concerns in regards to the traffic. And which also brings noise, which also brings a lot of activity to that corner and the area, you know, overall. So that's why I'm opposed to it. Because I was under the assumption when I paid all this money for this house that it was all residential. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Tawanda, after the meeting, or can you get with her and get the information, get the card? Gentlemen, any comments? Mr. Martinez, would you like to respond to anything before we go forward?
Chairman, I have no responses at this time, but if the applicant has some responses.
Mr. Jokums?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, I just wanted to again respond to a little bit of the comment. Olive is a major arterial. It's got 2 lanes in each direction. Citrus does have some limited capacity. It's because this property is not developed and that frontage hasn't been built. If this property were developed, there'd be an additional lane added to Citrus. We are working with McDOT. Both of those roads are in their jurisdiction, but certainly if this property were to be developed, Citrus would not be a 1 lane in each direction. It'll be 2. Thank you.
Commissioners, anything for Mr. Jokums? Thank you, sir. Okay, if we have nothing, yes.
Through the chair,
Yes.
the resident would like to come back to the podium.
Just stated that Citrus was gonna go from 1 lane to 2. So now my concern is what, you taking out the sidewalk?
Ma'am, could you talk?
Oh,
into
I'm
the mi-
sorry.
Yeah, so we can get
I'm
it on
sorry.
tape.
My question is, if he says Citrus is going from a 1 lane to a 2 lane, so now you're telling me you're taking out the sidewalks and our landscaping? Because Citrus on our side of the street is the street and our sidewalk and our landscape. So how would it become add 2 additional lanes?
Okay, thank you. Mr. Jokums, you got an answer?
Can you bring up my presentation? I'm hoping an aerial will help.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not a traffic engineer. I'm just a planner. I'm not even an attorney. In this location you can't see this.
There's no.
I don't know if these gentlemen need it, but in this area where our property fronts, that's where the additional lane and frontage improvements need to exist. As you go further north, you can actually see there's already 2 lanes there. So you can see there's actually already 2 lanes there as you travel north up Citrus. So we would not be removing any existing sidewalk. Anything that's done as part of the Zanjero project was built in accordance with McDOT standards. I'll talk to her a little bit and make sure she's got my card so we can talk about it further. But I want to make sure the commission is aware of, based on the aerial, we'll be finishing our road improvements. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Jokums.
Commissioner Cole.
If you don't mind, sorry, Mr. Chair, through the chair. I just want to clarify a couple things because we've said a lot of across the street. When you say across the street, as far as your zone, your PAD to compare with County C2, we're talking about that lot to the west. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And the lot to the south is still agricultural zoned R16. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so the lot to the south it's got county R16 zoning. That could change, I don't know.
Understood.
But yeah, we're specifically talking about the existing C2 directly to the west.
Thank you, Mr. Yocums. Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
Can you clarify for me the speaker's address again? Is she in the county or is she in the Glendale development?
Tawanda? I think it's Maricopa County.
I believe that too, but it just went by really fast for me, and I didn't write the address down that she.
I'm sorry, I'm at 8911 North 179th Drive, and I'm in the Maricopa County. I'm on that opposite corner. And that's what I was referencing in terms of, if you're saying that you're only going to be addressing the traffic that's coming directly in front of that storage facility without taking into account that Citrus can only be a 2-lane street. Once you pass Olive, I'm horrible on directions. Once you pass Olive, there's no way they can make that a 2-lane on each side once you get to our development. That's my development right here across the street. Oh, no, I have a brace in, I'm sorry. Oh, a pointer, sure.
Ma'am, you've answered my question. I'm
Okay,
satisfied.
so
Mr. Chair.
that's what I was addressing in regards to, yes, they can make it a 2-lane on the opposite side of Olive, but on the other side of Olive, which is where our development is, it can only remain a 2-lane without taking out the sidewalks and, you know, the strawberry and everything. So that's my concern. Even though you're making it a 2-lane, their traffic is going to come from the 303 and turn up Citrus, and you have to come by our development to get to that facility if you're coming up the 303. So that's my concern.
Are you good?
I'm good, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Jogums, maybe after the meeting, could you meet with her and just answer any questions there?
Mr. Chairman, absolutely. I got her card ready and we're gonna chat after the meeting.
Okay, thank you, sir. Commissioners, anything further? Okay, with nothing further, the public hearing for case number ZON 23-04 is now closed. Do I hear a motion for ZON 23-04?
Mr. Chair, I move we pass ZON 23-04.
Thank you, Mr. Ariano.
Yes, sir.
With the stipulations?
With the stipulation, yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Gears. Commissioners, is there any further comments or discussions? Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve case number ZON 23-04. Subject to the stipulations as outlined by staff, I will now conduct a roll call vote. Commissioner Crowe,
Aye.
Commissioner Cole,
Aye.
Vice Chair Nyberg,
No.
Commissioner Gears,
Aye.
Commissioner Hooper,
Aye.
Commissioner Ariano,
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Case number ZON 23-04 has been recommended for approval, subject to the stipulations as outlined by staff. Mr. Gruber, are there any next steps?
Chair and members of the commission, your recommendation with respect to case number ZON 23-04 is not final. Your recommendation will be forwarded to the City Council.
Thank you, Mr. Gruber. Okay, the next item is case number ZTA 25-01. And on this item, the commission will only vote on the permitted site, signs, billboards, static, and digital. The ADEU, as we discussed earlier, amendment will be presented at a later date. Mr. Hoskins will present the case.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. This presentation contains the remaining motion of ZTA 25-01 and is a request to amend the Unified Development Code Section 35.1 35.4.310. Twanda? This isn't the correct presentation. Sorry, Chair. That shouldn't be the... Is it? Okay, well, I sent the wrong one then. Excuse me. I apologize, Chair, Commissioners.
No worries.
Yep, it's fine. Is a request to amend the Unified Development Code, Section 35.4.310, site signs and billboards. The purpose of the amendment is to provide clarity of the UDC requirements and ensure compliance with state statute. Upon adoption of the UDC, it was expected that amendments may be necessary to provide clarification and update requirements. All public involvement requirements were met, and staff received no public comment. The proposed amendment delineates the number, placement, and frontage requirements for digital billboards along the Loop 303 corridor. Key points are PADs approved prior to 2024 along the Loop 303 and meet the frontage requirements are permitted one digital billboard. Any that cannot meet the frontage requirements may request administrative review for approval. There are no additional impacts to digital or static billboard requirements already existing in the UDC. And the proposed amendment does not impact the designated scenic corridor of 101. Staff recommends Planning Commission forward a recommendation of approval for the proposed ZTA 25 Tax 01. Chair and Commission, this concludes my presentation pending your questions.
Commissioners, anything for Mr. Hoskins? Thank you, sir. Well, let's see. The applicant is the city, so I guess we're good. Nobody has any further?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Vice Chair?
just a observation. I was happy that you confirmed the status with this scenic section along the 101 is not being modified or changed. That was pretty significant when we adopted that a ways back. So I'm happy that we're staying on the right path with that. So thank you.
Commissioners, anything further? Okay, I have received one speaker card from Ms. Sawyer. Name and address, please.
Good evening, Chairman Crow, members of the Commission. Sarah Sawyer, zoning attorney at Barry Riddell, 6750 East Camelback. Here tonight to speak in support of the billboard text amendment here on behalf of Lepore, very well-respected and reputable industrial developer. In 2023, they processed and approved the LP Bethany PAD, which specifically envisioned one digital billboard on this site located at northwest corner of Bethany Home and Loop 303. So they are in support of this text amendment so that they can put one digital billboard along their 303 frontage, which was, again, envisioned by the PAD that you approved and was approved by City Council. Thank you.
Commissioners, anything for Ms. Sawyer? Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, the public hearing for case number ZON 25-01 is now closed. Do I hear a motion for ZON 25-01?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Gears?
I move to recommend approval of ZTA 25-01 as written.
Support.
Okay, are there any further comments or discussions from the commissioners? Do we need to stipulate that we've dropped out okay. We need to
need to write it down.
we need to rephrase that, so restructure that motion to show that we're removing, Mr. Attorney, is there any specific wording you'd like to see?
Chair and Commission. Yes, just clarify that your motion pertains solely to the portion of the ZTA that relates to billboards and not the portion that was continued to October 23rd.
Which is, we've postponed the additional dwelling units, but we're voting on the billboards and signs only. Mr. Gears, you want to redo that?
Or just say billboards and signs only, or was there a number? You gave a number, I didn't write it down.
ZTA 25-01.
UTA?
ZTA
I know that.
25-01.
Okay, minus the,
All you have to do is say it's for only the billboards and signs.
okay. Mr. Chairman, I move to recommend approval for ZTA 2501, only the billboards and sign portion.
Now, do I have a second?
Mr. Chairman, I'll support that. We're approving section 35.4.310.
And not 10B, correct?
Correct.
Where did you get that from?
Mr. Gruber, are you all right with that?
Chair, yes, that's fine.
Okay, do I have a second?
I supported that, Mr.
Oh,
Chairman.
you did? Commissioners, any further comments or discussions? Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve ZTA 25-01, Portion A, and we are excluding Portion B as written. I will now conduct a roll call vote. Commissioner Crowe?
Aye.
Commissioner Cole?
Aye.
Vice Chair Nyberg?
Aye.
Commissioner Gears?
Aye.
Commissioner Hooper?
Aye.
Commissioner Ariano?
Yes.
Chair votes aye. Case number ZT 25-01 has been recommended for approval, excluding Portion B. Mr. Gruber, what are the next steps in the process?
Chair and Commission, your recommendation with respect to ZTA 25-01 is not final. The recommendation will be forwarded to the City Council for further consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Gruber. Mr. Huggins, is there any other business this evening?
Chairman, there is no additional business. or other
Any
business.
planning staff reports?
Chairman, there is no planning staff report.
Commissioners, anything? Thank you, gentlemen. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak on an item not on tonight's agenda? Okay, hearing none, the next regular meeting of the Planning Commission will be held on September 25th at 6 p.m. here at the Glendale Civic Center. If there's no further business, I will now entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.